recently, Nikki Haley appeared on Meet the Press with Christian Workler, and I tell you, first of all, we know Nikki Haley is a super conservative, bordering on MAGA, but not as MAGA as many MAGAs. But the one thing she has is discipline, and she is pretty good. And she sounds pretty good as well. So, I mean, I think it's something that all people always have said, be careful what you wish for. I mean, she's staying in the race. Anything could happen to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is erratic. Donald Trump could have a heart attack. Donald Trump there are a lot of things that could happen, right? And she's waiting in the wings. And I think when you listen to her, in as much as she's super conservative, she sounds fairly pragmatic and stable. I want you to listen to this, because here's what she's offering, first of all, to the Republican side. Normalcy versus chaos on the Republican side. And on the Democratic side, for those people who are moderates and who can be fooled into believing she is a moderate, she could make a race that is closer than one would expect. And given the narrative that she's doing on old men right now, I think, and given Biden's problems that he's currently having with Israel, in other words, supporting the massacre, the genocide of a whole lot of people, I mean, who knows? I want you to listen to this, because she's already gone back on something she promised. Check this out.
This primary isn't between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. Yes, on the ballot, that's what you see. This primary is, what is the direction of the Republican Party? Are we going to go where you had Donald Trump? He grew government. He didn't reduce the size of government. He put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years, more than any other president. And you're seeing a Republican Party follow him into that wasteful spending, not talking about fiscal discipline. This is about Donald Trump, who believes that you should be more of an isolationist, that America doesn't need friends. That's his focus. My focus is we need to start respecting taxpayer dollars. We need to reduce the size of government. We need to put those resources more in the hands of the people. We need to start focusing on getting our kids reading again. We need to secure our borders and be a country of law and order. And we believe in peace through strength, which means our focus is to prevent war. That's two very different Republican parties.
You're laying this out in very stark terms. It sounds like, from your perspective, this is a battle for the Republican Party. You've been sharpening your attacks against former President Trump. Everyone has noticed in recent days, in recent weeks. Have you taken the possibility of endorsing him off the table at this point?
It's not anything I think about. What I have said is...
But is it off the table, Ambassador? It sounds like you are in a different place. Are people misinterpreting what you're saying? Have you moved to a place where you're no longer planning to endorse him?
Well, I think, first of all, if you talk about an endorsement, you're talking about a loss. I don't think like that. When you're in a race, you don't think about losing. You think about continuing to go forward. What I can tell you is, I don't think Donald Trump or Joe Biden should be president. I don't think that we need two candidates in their 80s. I don't think we want a Joe Biden who calls his opponents fascist or a Donald Trump who calls his opponents vermin. No one wants that. I think people want a new generational leader that is going to go back to what the American dream is, what we want for our kids, in a place that's something that we can be proud of again.
Let me try it this way. You did sign a pledge, an RNC pledge, to support the eventual nominee. Do you still feel bound by that pledge?
I have always said that I have serious concerns about Donald Trump. I have even more concerns about Joe Biden.
So is that a no? Are you bound by the RNC pledge?
The RNC pledge, I mean, at the time of the debate, we had to take it to where, would you support the nominee? And you had to, in order to get on that debate stage, you said yes. The RNC is now not the same RNC. Now it's
So you're no
Trump's
longer bound
daughter-in-law.
by that pledge?
No, I think I'll make what decision I want to make, but that's not something I'm thinking about. And I think that while y'all think about that, I'm looking at the fact that we had thousands of people in Virginia. We're headed to North Carolina. We're going to continue to go to Vermont and Maine and all these states to go and show people that there is a path forward. And so I don't look at what ifs. I look at how do we continue the conversation.
So as you can see, she's no longer committed to say if she loses, she'll go against Donald Trump. but also she's no longer committed to just staying out if it's all over. So I think we should really be cognizant. I mean, not necessarily a super word, but be cognizant that she could be a horse that's not yet out of the game, and a horse that even if she kind of just hangs in there, maybe waiting for something to happen. And with two old men running, something can happen on either side. Something we better think about.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.